Okay, so before we start, this looks completely disjointed, but I'm refilming that introduction because I was not feeling the other one. But anyway, hi guys, I hope you're doing well. My name is Maisie and happy October. It is my favourite month of the year, even though this year it is slightly different. But we still have absolutely no excuse to do crazy makeup, so that is why I am here today to give you an easy Halloween pumpkin makeup tutorial. But I'm going to give you two different versions. I'm going to give you an easy, glam, simple pumpkin makeup look, or we're also going to do a more dramatic, scary, intense but still glam pumpkin makeup look. So if you currently know that you want to be a pumpkin this year but you don't know what vibe to go for, then this should give you some inspiration. Or if you know exactly what vibe you want to go for, then pick one of the two. These looks are so simple but they look so impressive and people will think that you are an MUA. I'm not even lying. So if you follow these steps, you'll be the most impressive pumpkin at the party, and I'm not just saying it, I mean I probably am, but So without further ado, let's just dive straight into the cute, simple and glam pumpkin look. Okay, so we're just going to start off with using some concealer to prime the eyes. You can use an actual eye primer here, but I just use concealer just to kind of stop the eyeshadow from staining my eyelid. We're then going to dip into my favourite palette, the James Charles X Morphe palette in the orange shade 518, and just using a big fluffy blending brush to start placing the eyeshadow on the outer part of the eye, just into a flick that follows in the direction of the lower lash line, and then we start blending it into the crease just in circular motions. We're then going to just keep going back over with that excess eyeshadow just to kind of make a nice flick to make it a little bit more dramatic and perfect for the occasion. And then we're going to dip into the brown shade Benny to make with a more dense blending brush and start dabbing the colour into the outer corner of the eye, just in that lower section. And without dipping in again, we're just going to start blending in circular motions, just kind of up into that outer proportion of the eye and just kind of flicking it out and blending it into the crease. You don't have to use a really dark brown here if you don't want it as dramatic, but I just, I like that dramatic look, so that's what I went in with, but there are lighter, obviously, browns to use. We're then just going to go back in with 518 just to kind of blend over all of that and blend it all together. And then dipping in on a nice flat brush, we're going to use some concealer just to start cutting the crease. I normally begin quite close to the lash line, just dabbing it on and then bringing the concealer up into the crease, taking advantage of that nice flat edge to really get into the crease of the eyelid. Then we're going to dip into the shade Halloween, of course, with a nice little small fluffy brush just to kind of help with that transition between the concealer and the shade Benny, and just dabbing it on and rubbing it in just to kind of start making a nice little shimmer shade on the top of the eyelid. Then with the gorgeous gold shade So Good on the same brush but the back of it, recycling I know, we're going to go in just in that inner proportion of the eye just to make it pop, and just keep rubbing it into the other colours just to make it blend together. We're then going to use one of my favourite products which has really changed my makeup game, the collection Glam Crystals, and it's their gold shade, and I just use this to go over those shimmer shades on the gold proportion of the eye just to make it pop even more. And it's easier than glitter. With a smaller fluffy brush, we're going to go back in with the dark brown just to place it lightly over the top of the cut crease and blend it together and make the cut crease look more like a cut out on the eyeshadow. Then with the favourite orange shade 518, we're going to go back in with the original blending brush to dust over the edges and tie it all together. We're then going to move on to eyeliner, and if you're not comfortable with this step then you can skip it to the next step. We're basically just going to follow the lower lash line direction up and make a line, and then a little bit down that line we're then going to make another line across to the middle of the lash line to form a triangle. You just fill that in and then move on to the inner lash line and just follow along as close as you can. Next we're going to move on to an angled thin brush, which we're going to use to dip into the shade Spooky, of course, which is the black shade. And this is where you can start off if you haven't done the eyeliner yet, because it's a little bit easier. But we're just going to go over the eyeliner with this black shade and just darken it up and smoke it out into a bigger wing, and just buffing out those edges to make it a little bit more smoky. Then with a small fluffy brush we're using the brown shade of Benny again, just to smoke out under the eye and kind of dragging it into the eyeliner that we've just done. And then using a black eyeliner pencil, we're just going to place this on the upper and lower waterlines to make them look darker and a little bit more intense for Halloween. Obviously you don't have to do that if it makes you feel uncomfortable, but I just quite like doing it. We're then going to use a lash curler to, guess what, curl the eyelashes and apply your mascara as you would. And at this point, you know, you could apply eyelashes, but because I was filming another look straight after this, I skipped this step, but it would make it even more glam. And then to finish off, we're going to use the bright shade of Ring Light in the inner corner to make the look pop, and of course put some on the brow bone as well. Then I use the NYX Tame and Frame brow pomade to do my eyebrows, but of course just use whatever you normally use, but a darker shade, you know, would be preferable because it's going to make it a bit more suitable for Halloween. Just apply it as normal, but I actually kind of focus making the arch a little bit more pointy and bringing it out a little bit further down from the tail, just to make it a little bit more harsh and dramatic for this Halloween look. Then with that eyeliner felt tip, we're going to go back in and start tracing the mouth out. I follow the bottom lip line and lightly trace a curved line either side, just to make an extended smile. From the end of the line that you just did, you draw another line beneath it to then kind of match up to about 1/2 centimetre below your bottom lip. From the outer corner of the mouth, we're going to start drawing a line towards the nose around 2 centimetres, then go down about 1/2 centimetre and across again, and just do the same on the other side and keep it symmetrical. And I just do this the same all the way across, just kind of like making little boxes. I then stop and go into the middle of the lip just to make sure that that point is right in the middle, and just join up the final boxes and just go over them with the eyeliner to make sure that they're all kind of the same height and thickness. Then we're just going to go back on underneath, and at the same point of where it is on the top lip, we're going to draw the boxes directly underneath where the box is on the top, and just going all the way along doing the exact same thing, but drawing those boxes in the same position. And don't worry too much about any mistakes because you will cover it up. We're then going to dip into the black Snazzaroo face paint, but you can just use any face paint to dip it in and then start filling out the mouth, being very careful about around the edges. And you know, you just keep going over it really to make sure that it's thicker. At points I'll use a little wipe just to kind of make sure that the edges are clean, but the key to this is just kind of going over a few layers because paint can be a little bit streaky at first. Then with the angled brush that we use for the smoky eyeliner, we're going to dip back into the black eyeshadow and go over the mouth just to kind of finish it off, almost like a black powder, just to make it even more dark and just kind of set the face paint. And with the same brush, then we're going to start to outline the nose, just lightly placing it on an angle towards the middle of the nose and then drawing on the bottom and just making a little cute triangle. And then we're just going to fill it in with the black face paint and of course go over it again with the eyeshadow to kind of set it in place. And get rid of any mistakes if you need. Then with the angled brush, just look directly forward into the mirror and draw a line with the black eyeshadow down from the bottom of your pupil all the way down to under the chin. And at first I just started dabbing it just because I didn't want to make any mistakes, but as you'll see in a minute, I just decided to drag it and realised that it does just follow the shape of your face very easily. So I just did that all around the face, keeping each line around 2 to 3 centimetres apart and just going over all the lines that just needed a little bit more. And the same from down the middle of the forehead, right down through that top of the point on the nose, down to under the chin. We're then going to dip into the shade Code James, which is a nice musky orange, and just kind of mix it in with 10% off a light brown, just to start blending it into the cheekbones. I always follow the direction of the upper ear and just go down towards the edge of the fake mouth. And then we just start blending the colour up in circular motions into the temples, and of course across the forehead and under the chin to make a contoured pumpkin. Now back in with the paint and the angled brush, we're going to go over the lines just to kind of make them darker and set them in place. At this point here, I actually took my hair out thinking I was done, but then I thought I want to make the contour a little bit deeper, so I went back in with the shade Benny, the dark brown, and just placed it into the hollows under my cheekbones just to make them a little bit more intense. And then to finish off this glam look, we're just going to use some highlighter on the tops of the cheekbones. On this look, I'm using a liquid highlighter, but you can use any highlighter that suits you. And that is it, the finished glam and simple pumpkin. Or really, you can switch up the eye look to something that's more suitable for you. I thought the colours just suited the whole vibe of Halloween and being a pumpkin perfectly. Okay, so we're back. I have just removed this and much makeup. As you can see, I look stupid. I've tied my hair back because this one is going to be all over the chest as well. Obviously, if you were going to do this makeup look, then you wouldn't already have this going on, but what I would suggest is just doing a nice glam eye. It doesn't have to be as bold as this, it can just be something that you normally do. Okay, so let's now do the pumpkin makeup tutorial, the version 2, where it's very dramatic. It's a little bit more scary, so if you want to know how to do it, then please keep on watching. Okay, so before we start, you can just ignore those lines that I've kept on my face because I do end up removing them and redoing them anyway. To start this look, we're just going to start off by using some white eyeliner pencil just to trace out the look that we want to achieve. And I just start from the corner of the hairline, I draw a zigzag line across the opposite eyebrow, and then I draw a curved line past the nose and across the top of the cheek towards the ear. I then draw a triangle across the eye so that it's like a little point in the middle of the top of the brow, and then just follow those lines past the eye and join it together about 1 centimetre underneath the eye just to kind of make a triangle. Same as we did for the simple look, I just follow the bottom lip shape out and form a curved line for a giant smile, and I just quickly sketch out the shape of the mouth, but we'll come back to that later. And then draw a line from each side of your chin down the neck and onto the chest, and keep them about the width apart that your chin is. At this point, my white eyeliner decided to run low, so I just switched to an orange liner to finish off tracing the lines down my neck. And then just simply draw another line from around just under the corner of your jawbone and another from behind the ear. Follow them in a straight direction onto the chest. And just kind of form them into points at the end, making 5 different points overall. Then go back over everything with the black eyeliner pencil, just once I'm happy with the shape of things. And then we move on to the mouth, and I start making little vertical markings about a finger width apart across the top of the mouth, keeping them the same on both sides, curving them all the way up to the top of the ear. And then I draw curved dips in each of them just to kind of make a wavy effect. And you do the exact same underneath, but making the curves in the opposite direction. So making the curves on the top into a U shape, and then the curves on the bottom into an N shape. Then with the orange face paint from Snazzaroo, I begin filling in the face around the black lines. And I did actually forget to do the nose, so I stopped and I started sketching this. Draw 2 straight lines down the bone of the nose, and then connect those into the middle of the nose. With like a diagonal line, and then draw 2 further lines down the sides of the front of the nose, and join them together to kind of make a weird tooth shape. And then just continue colouring in the face with the orange face paint, and I used a nice curved flat brush that is around 1.5 centimeters width, as it's perfect for getting in those curves in the mouth. And just fill in each point down the neck. I used a mirror to help guide me with the points down the back of the ear and onto the shoulder, just to make sure that it's nice and neat and crisp. Then with a small lip brush, we then use it to fill in the other bits with the black paint. So I start with the eye, and at this point I actually stopped and I actually started using some black eyeshadow onto the eyelid to make it easier to apply, and then just filled in the gaps with the black paint. I then just use the black paint to thicken up all the lines on the forehead, nose and mouth. And then this is your chance to make the arch curves in the mouth more pointy and dramatic, and to make them kind of look like sharp teeth. So you just kind of go up through those U and N shapes, and at each point just make it more of a point. And then you just fill out the mouth, going over it a few times to make it as dark as possible. And then you start going down the neck to kind of make those points separate and making them into basically giant petals, I think they look like. So just following those lines precisely down, and again you can like turn your body to be able to see the last one across the shoulder, or use your little mirror again. I then use the angled brush to draw a few small lines from the middle crack on the forehead, and I just draw ones going towards the Glam side and up, and then bend it out, and I just put them basically in different directions just to make a little crack in the forehead. And then just to finish it off, we then go back in with the highlighter just to make the Glam side even more glam and glowy. And that is it. It is literally the most simple look you could ever do that looks so impressive, and people will think that you are an MUA. You literally just need to take care when stenciling it out and then colouring it in, and you'll be fine. Okay guys, so this is the finished look for the more dramatic, scary, impressive pumpkin makeup look. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you've got some inspiration now if you want to dress as a pumpkin for Halloween, whether you want to be a little bit more cute and glam or whether you want to be really dramatic and you walk into the room and everyone's like, whoa, she's good at makeup and she is a pumpkin. But either way, I like both and I hope that you do too. So if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. Comment below which look was your favourite and what you're dressing up as this Halloween, whether it's over Zoom or whether you're actually lucky enough to go to a party or not. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss another video. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. My teeth look so white. Bye guys. P.S. guys, I really hope that you enjoy taking this off. It's so fun.